Okay, so today we're going to do some Jive programming. The goal of today is to make some progress on what's the word? We're making some progress on making rollback input actually do something on the screen. Before we actually do anything, I want to put some debug information up, so we'll see how long that takes. But it is the goal, is to have all working boss. So we have simple jump and move, and in theory these should be mostly working. And now what we need to do is we need to actually print out like what is the presentation frame that we're on, theoretical, and we also need to simulate out to there. So if I remember correctly, we were in game, and yeah, we were right here. So this here is text. It's outside of the rollback code, and we want to simulate, I think, an RTT into the future. I make these diagrams, and it sort of convinced me that we should be one RTT ahead. But that's kind of weird. Or at least a half RTT ahead confirmed. Because, we want to be, ahead somehow. Anyways, we need to just get it working, and then we can tweak it and see if we need, add other parameters to make it more or less, or, to have the server synchronize them in some way. Right now, everyone knows what the server's confirmed frame is, but we need to figure out where the head frame of all clients are relative to that confirmed frame. So that is the goal of the stream, is to kind of figure that out. So yeah, we'll try it. We'll try to make it happen. Yeah. So I'm going to make first a function here. We call it simulate frame. And in simulate frame, what we're going to do is we're going to get maybe an offset from the confirmed server frame, maybe. Well, no, that's not hard. So we have kind of this graph. So if we have all the clients, I'm going to start writing this down because I need to visualize this. Also, a reason why I have the stream is just going to be visuals. We got some visuals. So we're going to have a couple different clients, right? So we'll say this is just client 1, client 2, and then server. And these all have a time stream, right? That is moving forward. And I guess I could have made those arrows. We'll do arrows. Now, when we get new input about another client, we need to resimulate that client up to the current head frame, right? So I'm actually going to separate these out so it's easier, because clients don't talk to each other right now. They talk to the server, which then talks to them, because this is currently working on the client-server style model. Be like, why are you doing that? And it's secrets. Secret land for why we're doing that. Well, future plans, I should say. It's also secret, but yeah, is what it is. So, with client 1, client 2, and we have the server. Now, the server would tell us we're like on a specific confirm frame, and also tell us of inputs from client 2 and vice versa. So we're going to be selfish and just say, from the perspective of client 1, what do we care about simulating? So when we get a confirmed frame from someone else, we need to resimulate them and ourselves for those frames. So, because we're going to resimulate everything right now, which is the normal way of doing it, we are going to say, hey, we have a new confirmed frame, and that will be the minimum of all frames since last simulation, right? So the client rollback data should probably hold on to that so that it knows when to simulate forward from, right? So let's get that. Let's see. So I think client here, send local, blah blah blah. I thought it was in here. Yeah, it is. So this is the confirm frame, but this isn't necessarily our frame. Like, this is what the server sees, but we may not have gotten things in order or something. I mean, everything's reliable, so technically speaking, it should be that the confirm frame is the one we simulate forward by. We simulate forward by, like, something off RTTs. Oh, I guess the server should probably tell us, like, what is the biggest RTT of all connections or something. And that's how much we should simulate forward by. Whatever. We're going to do it by our RTTs because we're selfish. And that's the base implementation. We can switch it over to the one if you want to later. Where it's, like, part of the status of the server. It tells you, like, how much RTT there is. So if we're ordered and we say, hey, here's our confirmed frame, that means that we should have received everything else. So the problem with that is we don't necessarily send out status for all players, right? So we need to basically say, hey, if we got a new packet, then we should check all other packets and see if we can increment the server confirmed packet or confirmed frame. And if that's true, then we can actually go and, like, simulate further into the future. Maybe we always simulate, but, like, I don't know, it's weird because we want to drop frames, but we want to, like, slow down or speed up. I don't know. Some of the GDC talks doing this are kind of like, be like, you have one size low up or speed down. For now, we're just gonna, like, drop a frame. Could do a arbitrarily longer or shorter DT speed if the game's slowing down later. So we're gonna want to increment this number when we get all inputs. Oh, and this actually works great because we have a start frame. Okay, this actually, I like this a lot. This will be fine. So input here. So this is our confirmed flag for room simulation. So in here, what we want to do is basically say client input dot input Q for everything in here. We're going to say, like, is your confirmed frame no better? Oh, but we have a problem. We're not necessarily pushing confirm from here, are we? Oh, no, we are. It's right here. And this iteration is going to be kind of slow. So it's a table, so it's kind of spread out in memory. And this is going to be pointer PIQ and the input Q. PIQ. So PIQ, we basically want to get the minimum of all of them, right? Confirmed frame. What, is that a thing in here? No, it's not. Okay. Main confirmed frame is frame index max. And then we'll say, hey, for all the player inputs, if minimum is less than, just do the function, is equal to minimum of yourself and PIQ dot confirm frame. And PIQ's already up here. Comment here. Basically, look to see if we can increment the server frame index. Is that what it's called, right? Yeah, it's not index, just convert frame. Okay, so do that, and then this is equal to max of this and min confirm frame. This is a little slow. We should probably have this be in its own array because we're looking over a lot of memory here, but whatever, who cares? It's for a example. And if that's the case, and then I think we're good. Now, there's one thing we need to do, which is when we've added a player, we send messages for it before its start frame. And that's bad. It's no good. I think that's like advanced or something. Okay, everything's all over the place. You need to reorganize. Let's see if this compiles real quick. My computer's so slow. It's very slow when it's streaming. Oh my gosh. Server confirmed frame. Yeah, because this is the client rollback. Oops. Dot. Which I'm not passing in. I don't know why. Rollback data.
That's fine. So now I'm gonna do some cleaning up of my tabs because it's all bad. So want this and server client main, and then we're gonna go and get client, put that over there. I think that's all we care about. Okay, so when we advance local input, we have this pull input function, which is a callback. We only want to call that if it's unsynced or
like we're simulating far enough into the future, basically. I think, yeah, we only want to do that when we're simulating far enough into the future.
So let's think about this. So client input so basically be like, okay, we send all of them. And we don't necessarily want to do that, right? So we have our frame inputs here. And we just make it a set size. Okay, this is a problem because we need this to be a dynamic size. So we're gonna do the following. Dot dot. And we're gonna add it when it's either unsynced or it's like
the head frame is the start frame, right?
So let's get rid of some stuff here. We need that. We are no longer doing that. Frame inputs dot allocator or is equal to underscore temporary. I forget what it's freaking called. Let's look this up. Oh. Okay. We'll put this over here. So there we go. Temporary allocator. So that's pretty close. And then we're gonna say, hey, array add pointer to frame inputs, and we're going to add this new frame, but we're only going to do that under certain conditions. We always push empty though, because we want to have the buffers filled with empty histories, right? So push and empty, only accept inputs for it. Only inputs for unsynced or started synced players. So or only pull, for instance. player ID unsynced or started player ID. So basically we say if PIQ ID is less than or equal to first ID local unsynced or PIQ dot well, we'll have them, this will be more explicit, right? ID greater than or equal to player ID first synced and PIQ dot start. You know, let's make this 2 conditions. This is getting a little gross. Continue. Synced. If the player ID started. If I'll just say synced player ID started. So if ID is greater than equal to player ID first synced and like the PIQ's head is basically what we care about.
This is an extra solved problem because we do have to time warp unsynced players. But that's maybe not a big deal. In theory, that should just be a number someplace to set. And we can set that equal to the confirmed frame. And then hopefully we get lock sync before any of the player inputs go through. So if we're synced and IQ player input Q is over in inputs. So basically, head frame is greater than or equal to PIQ.start frame. Head frame greater than or equal to PIQ.start frame. Then good deal. Hang on, I'm gonna close my door. People talking outside. And my alarm is also going off. Very nice. Okay, so unsynced. This is good. Now this also means we have a new edge case that I need to work with, which is that we can send 0 frame inputs, which, you know,
isn't great, but eh.
It kind of makes sense you can do that, where it's like, you know, you're in between allowing input to be synced. This doesn't mean you can't, like, do events, right? It just means you're a little bit upset about sending them across the wire. So, basically, this assert will trigger. So now what we need to do is figure out how to handle that. I mean, we could just say if player 1, or players at 0, right? Because we have players at 0. There's a pointer to the array, and this is you know, arrays of 0 size. So like, there's important stuff in here. I promise. We have like quit crap, right? We still have space for it, I guess. Let's fix that. First, let's compile. Oh, it's upset about this. ID. And sure, we'll do parentheses. Reframe. Good. Now if we pull input, she'll work. The thing we want to do now is sys. Okay, well, we can do this pretty easily,
because this is just a for loop. So for player in players, you know, we're gonna just do that, right? And we'll just say it. The thing is, I don't want to like have name collisions and whatnot. Just say player input players. Local players. This will be player input. Okay, so that's solved. This will do it 0 times then, if that is an empty thing. Now, you see, this is tricky because we would like have bindings that are different, potentially, for like different players, for like player 1 or player 2. So, how to do? dark side. Too dark side. Too much. You know what? We'll just do a hack thing, right? And we'll just say always player one has it, because you would need so much more infrastructure to make this work otherwise. To do like, I'm not actually gonna do this, but I'd be like growth. I don't even know what tag you'd give this. Let's say player one is a pointer to a frame input. And this starts off null, so I'd be like if local player inputs count is greater than 0, then this is equal to local inputs at 0. Right. This is kind of temporary code. It's fine. So now we need to replace all instances of this. And this should be address. All instances of this with this. In theory, that should work. Given type pointer to pointer. Oh no, it's oh dang it, that means okay, these weren't getting the pointer from them, they were getting the pointer to move. Well dang it. I want to undo them now, because then I can do the better copy replace later. So that's there. And then I just want to replace just this. Yeah, because store is gonna do things. Doop 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 doop. Sweet. Now that should actually work for what we're trying to do. Does it blend? Do we run? Outputs, space, server. Okay, and we have inputs. Does. Cool. So, I'm gonna turn on this just to know that it's working. So inputs are being called still, even though we synced the input, and it's like actually a real input. Oh, wait, we had a thing here that we totally skimmed over. Which was... we only trigger a resim, right? In the case that it wasn't a confirmation, right? And that's why this was in here. So we need to have maybe 2 frame indexes, because just increasing confirmed,
like, because what if we get like input for like 2 whole frames, right? Then we have a number we need to simulate from, right? So we could call it like we have confirmed frame, and then we have a simulation root. So, and you move forward from the root. Once you've moved up on the root, you move to the confirmed frame from the server, right? Because now the confirmed server is for all players. Yes, that's wrong for later, but like, you know, it's good for now. Good for now.
So to make this work, I think we just kind of have to add another thing here, which is root frame. So this is inputs. This frame's inputs have been confirmed by the server. And then the root client root frame index, and this frame must
it's the root, right? So the server's confirmed frame and the root frame, like, this data may eventually change to being somewhere else, but like, yeah. Well, it's a different data set though, right? Because this is like for the full thing, maybe. It's maybe a different data set. Alright, we're doing the simple in first. So, the client root frame, how do I describe this? The client starts simulation from here, basically.
client starts simulation from this point. Right. Sets afterwards to be confirmed. +1, I think.
Right? And we also have like previous server confirmed frame, and if that changes, right,
then we'd have to sim. But that's like a future optimization, right? To do server prev server frame, which is just to save. Basically, just tells us if it's a dirty flag, right? Like, this is not common to happen, though, is the thing, because the cadence is which people are sending, so I'm not actually sure if we care, right? And we, at least in this implementation, but we would do something for later if we're doing player independent stuff. Because so if everyone's setting up inputs every frame, let's say it's evenly distributed, which is wrong, but it basically means that we're kind of guaranteed to get input if we have more than one client, unless they're perfectly synced up. They won't be. We're gonna get input from them. Like, but we have to get confirmed input from all of them, actually, to increase the confirmed frame. So, okay. To do previous or okay, we'll leave this here. This and the current are the same. We don't need to resimulate from root and can just do the presentation frame. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to always go from the client root for now. So we need to handle this.
So when we connect, like, this needs to be set to unset in case we unconnect and reconnect, or something like that.
So let's go to client. Update client is not what I'm looking for. I want the messages. Where's the callback? Here's the callback. So this is our disconnect. Connected. When we get this callback, we can ignore this. Connected. Connected to server. Okay. So
in theory, we would say, hey, this is the point where we would, like, say, hey, your thing is going to be set, and we're going to put this in here as well. Rollback is client dot rollback. Dot root client root frame is equal to frame index not set. And we'll also just do an if here just in case. Like, I'm just a little worried that, I mean, this callback should probably definitely happen before we get any messages. And would have to, like, return before those messages are sent. Like, that would be the way I would code it, but we'll just put a thing in here to be like, if this is not equal to not set, and let's do debug, then we're going to print it. We're going to say
print warn this that. And this is before we set it. And also do client rollback dot server confirm frame is equal to frame. It's not set. Okay, so then I have the status, which is a player configuration message status, and then this takes rollback, so we're just going to go here, which is in client.
So we always set the confirmed frame to confirmed. Well,
we can say it's the max of this and confirmed, right?
that way it always should be, right? That being said, I'm not actually making this library so it guarantees the things, so probably it would make sense to do this.
Be like, hey, whatever our server's confirm frame is versus ours, and then we also are going to say that if client rollback dot root is frame index not set, then this is here, right? Because we have to simulate from Z point. Okay, so good news, we didn't break anything. Now that we have the root, now we can like actually simulate from that, right? So we say, hey, go from the root forward. And oh, we also have this thing here. If So basically, it needs to be within start and end, right? Head frame. Start and head frame, inclusive. This maybe not be end frame, because end usually is like the end of a vector, and you can't. That's the element. You can't go up less than. So you might say last frame, start frame, last frame. I'm gonna do that because I think it's a little confusing, maybe. I have thought about it a little bit, so we'll change this to last frame. And gross. Let's do send frame. Oh geez. Okay. End frame, last frame, end frame, end frame, there, last frame, last frame, last frame. Oh wait, what was that? Crap. All of these are bad. There we go. And we didn't change it in message for some reason. What? Why was it not in message? Why? I guess we just missed it. Weird. Let's save all. Remove player. Last frame. Last frame. This is terminate player's local. Yeah, because this is fall into the shadows, right? So the last frame is the confirmed frame of the server input plus the delay. Why is last frame is not member of unnamed? Remove player. Message. Oh, that's a horrible misspelling. They would certainly do it. Herp to derp. Frame. Okay, we need to like have more screen space. Dang it. Terminate. End frame, last frame. Yes. If this is greater than or equal to first index. Why did we think that? Oh, because it's set already. Okay. Bam! Victory. Okay, so we have the root now. Now, when we increment the confirmed... Wait, no, we already get that, right? Because if the root... Well, no, because we updated it from last frame. Like, remember, we bring it up to the point. Yeah. So... I think we're good then. I think we have what we need to like do the stuff. I'm gonna save my progress though, because I've done a fair amount of code changes. Client root frame added refactored. Okay, so the next thing. Oh man, we're almost to an hour already. I was only gonna stream for an hour. We're already there. We can go for a little bit longer. Want to get a little more done. Okay, so now we need to actually have the frames like move forward. So let's go to our game. Today we'll probably... So if we're gonna do this, we need to have the rollback data. Right now, game only has, or that I'm like putting game into the context, so I can say like this context game types, and then we can get like the chat box, for example, which that has the
client data stuff. So I want to get more stuff. What am I trying? Okay. I need rollback. I need rollback. Then I need to have one or two of those things, which means we basically either need to pass that into the function or add the context. I don't like adding it to the context right now. But then we have to send in both the client and the server's one, which sucks because they have different data. They kind of care about different things because they're The plan is to simulate them differently. The server only simulates confirmed frames because it doesn't need to see the future. It just needs to be able to like hack off people, and then also let people connect in the middle of the game by applying patches or sending patches, right? Damn it. Fine. Freaking add the game. Gonna be a mega struct. It's fine, probably. Rollback is a client rollback data, and this is a pointer. And I'm not gonna put using. Honestly, I should probably get rid of this. I only want to use the top level stuff here. Initialize game. Dot client dot rollback is equal to G client Is anyone watching? I wonder. Sorry. I'm gonna throw this up on YouTube later. Maybe watch there. Yep, I think we're done for tonight. I wanna be more focused when working on this stuff, and talking into the microphone or these trying to explain stuff is a distraction. Makes it hard to think. So thanks for hanging out, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.